Hello there. Thank you for joining me on this short webinar on the benefits of using webinars. Just before we go into too much detail about the benefits of using webinars, let's take a little step back first. Let's look at communications. Well, we all need communications at different times for different reasons. It could be you're undergoing change management. So what is happening in an organization? How does it affect me? And how can I help that change management process? If there's a new product launch, how are we going to sell it? Who do we want to buy it? And how will we deliver it? A lot of questions, a lot of facets that cover the situation when you have a new product to launch. And what about dealers if you have dealers? Dealers, can we tell you about our products, our services, and how can we help you to sell your products? What about our customers? How do you communicate? Why would you choose us? What about some product information, some demonstrations, and perhaps some customer feedback? Not often asked for, but very useful. Training. What about creating an online training bank? Let people serve themselves, choose the training they need, it truly helps reduce cost, and you'd benefit from a great increase in effectiveness of training delivery. So let's think about the challenge of communication. Well, for a start, we've got to compete against other forms of communication. Looking at that slide, I think you'll see there's a lot of competition out there. So although your communication might be a slightly different style, slightly different angle, this is all the kind of communication that's going on all the time, all around us. So how can you compete against that? First of all, you can think about quality. Absolutely consider quality in everything you deliver. Think about creating material that's relevant, interesting, and really focused on what people want. And don't accept any compromises, because any compromises in what you're saying, the kind of systems you're using to deliver a webinar, the kind of material you're using, if you compromise on that, this is truly a reflection on you. And I'm sure nobody sets out in business to be absolutely average. You want to be as best as you can be. So why would you accept a compromise in anything else you do? So if you consider a webinar, the thing you should be thinking about is we should deliver everything in a webinar that would be expected in a conventional seminar where you have a whole load of people with you in a room. Why would it be anything different to that? What is that you'd expect? Well, you'd expect to see and hear the presenter or the presenters. You'd expect to be able to hear them. Why wouldn't you? That's a normal thing you'd expect. You'd expect them probably to have prepared some accompanying slides to help you understand and help you get a different way of getting the information across to you. During it, you'd expect them to accept questions from the audience. So if anybody had a question during it, you'd expect to be able to ask that. You'd perhaps expect the presenters to be able to ask the audience questions as well. Why wouldn't they? That's normal human interaction. You might expect to go away with some brochure or collateral or some notes, some memos, some worksheets as a result of a seminar. So again, in a webinar online, why wouldn't you expect that? Again, that's something you should be considering. Could we have some handouts? So let's return now to a benefit of a good webinar. Well, a good webinar, where you've used all the things we've talked about, first of all, you could approach and reach a much bigger audience than you would in a conventional, say, single seminar. People don't have to travel, people can call it up as much as they want. It's at a much lower cost. The cost of putting one webinar on is significantly less than getting a whole load of people into a room. The material you create in a webinar can be reused time and time again, and still, each person using it will still feel that connection with you, just like they were speaking to you directly. We're all very concerned about carbon emissions now. Obviously, the webinar system eliminates a huge amount of travel, with the result is virtually zero carbon emission caused by that communication, that webinar, that training session. Again, very important in today's world. Webinars are also much more convenient for your users. They can choose how they get it, what they get, when they get, where they are. It's far more convenient. It's also a very direct form of communication. So as I was saying, I hope you feel that I'm speaking just to you right now, even though I'm afraid I'm not. I am addressing a wider audience. But nonetheless, I hope you feel that we are addressing you singly. Equally, if you do ask a question there, that'll come to me. I will see that. Webinars can be delivered live or on demand, or both. A lot of the customers that use our system like to have it live, and so that they can see the live interactions coming back. However, it's automatically stored as well. So for those people that couldn't join in when the live time, perhaps they're in a different time zone or they had other appointments they couldn't break. Equally, for people who perhaps didn't get all the points coming across properly and just wanted to review the material, that's also very possible. So you can deliver it in both ways. People can obviously retrieve and watch webinars at a time and a place convenient to them. So it might be that you actually get peace to do this at 9 o'clock at night after the children have been put to bed. It might be you like doing it first thing in the morning, or it might be you like to set aside a certain time of day to actually do this kind of thing. Again, whatever suits each member of audience is just fine. Equally, people can choose what they actually receive. So for example, if you had a whole series of webinars, someone wants one particular topic, they can go and select that particular webinar and watch that information. So they're actually selecting what is required for them. When watching a webinar, unlike a live presentation in a room, you have great control on a playback. So people watching one can pause it. They can jump around within it. They could pause it, go out for a cup of tea, go out to answer the door, come back, continue. Or after they've done a session or something like that, you can actually come back and say, you know, there's a couple of points I wasn't too sure of, I'd just like to review that. And absolutely possible on the system. So a good webinar truly has a very high value. Now, to return to some of the points we covered at the beginning, we need communication at different times for different reasons. It will help us work more effectively. If it was change management, you could communicate what's happening in an organization. How does it affect me? How can I help? Imagine change management where everybody in the organization knows what's happening, knows what the plan is, and knows where they fit into it, as opposed to change management where not that many people know. In a new product launch, say, in an organization, imagine everyone pulling in the same direction, knowing what the goal is, knowing what the target customer is, knowing how they're going to sell it, how they're going to procure it, and the whole process. Dealers, imagine being able to inform your dealers about your products in a good manner, so it won't take them that much time to actually go on and learn about a new product or a service, and indeed the best ways to sell it. That creates a very effective sales channel if they're all on the same side as you, with the same messages, the same target markets. And what about your customers? How often do you speak to customers? You can communicate reasons like, why choose us? You can build up relationship, you can build up trust. You can give them product information. You can take feedback from them. This kind of one-to-one communication with customers is absolutely vital. This kind of system gives you that opportunity. You can create training. We talked about training. You can create that online training bank so that people can go and learn and be trained on the things they need to know. It might be they've suddenly found they have a particular sales opportunity and they need to quickly learn about a particular area or a particular product. Now, this, they may not have attended the seminar on it 9 months ago, but suddenly the opportunity presents itself. They need to learn quickly, fast, and well. So in this way, you can actually deliver that training to them. Not only that, you can reduce cost of training dramatically and increase its effectiveness. So there's a win from every different angle. I hope you found this very interesting. We'd love to show you a lot more on this, but time limits and we don't want to make it too long. However, if you'd care to contact us, all our contact details are there in the websites and things. Love to hear from you. We'd love to talk about the kind of projects you have in mind more. Thank you very much.